This is Mr. Huff, and let's talk about the virtual robotics challenges for the next few weeks. Let's go through the report first. You're going to put your name, the date, and give me a description of the activity and challenge level that you're trying. And then right here, we're going to, let me shrink this a little bit. Right here, you're going to, in your own words, you're going to describe what this activity is about, and what your goal is, and tell me what you found challenging in the activity. And everything you should do should have some challenges. If there's no challenges, then you need to try something harder. So, next thing you're going to fill in is you're going to take a screenshot of the playground where your activity was completed and put a caption under that. Notice that I want you to insert a screenshot of the playground window with the pin down. So one of the things I want you to do is add code here to make the pin go down. I thought I had it typed right there. Don't have it. All right, so I'm telling you, I should see everywhere that your robot went. Use the pin function to do that. So you're going to have a complimentary assignment. I'll go over that in just a little bit, where you submit your code. I'm going to open it and look at it and check it for documentation. And then for the conclusions, since the challenges don't have conclusion questions, you're going to make up your own. Do not give me yes or no questions. You need to have things like, how could this be improved? Or how is this better than something else you did? Or what are other possible applications of this kind of behavior? Or describe an example of how this is actually done in real life, used in real life. So you're going to put your question here and answer your own question. So you should have good answers for your own questions. Then at the end, I want you to reflect on and describe what you learned throughout this activity, and I expect you to learn something. All right, let's look quickly at Canvas. So what I've got is I will have 2 assignments a week. You're going to do a programming challenge and submit your code, a programming challenge and submit your code, programming challenge and submit your code, and then a programming challenge and submit your code. These are for the robotics challenges. I may bring in some other assignments about notes for other content that you need to know, but this is what I want to do for a few weeks. So let's look at the Vex Robotics System. You're going to be using this interface at vr.vex.com. It has 2 different modes. We have block mode and text mode. I don't care which one you use to develop your project. So the text is straight Python, so it's Python programming. And then you can also, you don't have to create a login for this, but you do need to save your code as you go. So always click Save to your device. The file names are called VR Python files, and that's the only thing you can turn in for the code assignments. Alright, and then if you have some, you can load it here. There are also tutorials. If you've never used this interface before, it's a good idea to go through these first. They're not long, they're very clear, very straightforward. So you should take a look at those. Then the activities, you can get to the activities by clicking this link here. It'll open this page, and at the top it'll say this. So if you're new to code, it'll have some things there to introduce you what this is about. There's a teacher portal here as well. Don't worry about that. What we want to go down to is look at the activities. You can filter by different categories or playgrounds that you want to use. Some of these are more difficult than others. Some are very easy. So pick one that looks interesting to you and then open it. And when you open these, let's say if you wanted to do this, counting lines. So if you open one of these challenges, they generally have the activity and then they have 3 levels to do. So you need to be able to choose. I would suggest try to get to the higher levels so that your code is more sophisticated. But that is the challenge you'll do. And note that there are no conclusion questions, so you need to come up with your own there. That's why I did that. So let's go look at this interface. Let's say that you're done. I expect this to be fully documented with pseudocode, and you can do this after you get it working. They've got some comments built in here. If you click on this button, it'll change it to a code view, and you can see their comments here. And if you click down here to convert to text project, it's going to make it where you have the format I want you to turn it in as. So if you turn this in, that's the code, but I don't see that you understand it. So this is why we're going to use pseudocode. Let me pull in just a rough example. So I'm going to load from my device, discarding that. I'm going to choose this little example. I have a specific heading I want you to use. It's these first three lines here that talk about the title, your name, and the date. Complex behavior is going to be the description of the challenge and its purpose. Simple behaviors, I want you to break the program down into sections. First, what it's going to do, then what it does, and after that, what it does, and then finally, what it does. So that becomes the kind of the section headers within the code. So I would expect to see this list of simple behaviors throughout the text here, or throughout your program here, like this, and then this, and this. These are section headers that describe what this code does. And then for every line of code, except for maybe these global default stuff here, go through and add a line like drive forward. I expect to see a comment on every single line explaining what it does. It's a lot of copy and pasting. It's tedious, I know, but this tells me that if you add a descriptive line on every or a descriptive comment on every line, it tells me that you understand what each line of code is doing, and then this section header tells me that you understand how those work together to achieve a task. So your code that you submit is going to look like this. When you have it all done, you're going to choose File and Save to your device. Give it a name you'll recognize, and then hit Save. And that's what you have to turn in. So that's just a real quick run through on this assignment. It's up to you to pick the assignment and make up your own conclusion questions once you finish. Let me know if there are any questions.